What up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Matty P, Marky D here to complain about Matt Canada before they lose to the Browns. We freaking hate the Matt Canada offense. It did nothing in week 1 against the 49ers. Can it do anything in week 2? Who knows? Teryl Austin, the sneaky criminal from last year in terms of what he did with the defense and how it lost us the first half of the season. He was back with another poor performance that robbed the Steelers of a win really early on in the game, and they're on back foot the whole time. We're going to talk about all these trends and more on this preview show before the Browns game. We'll talk about injury report. But Marky D, before I crack into that, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing very well, mate. I've been saying that too in my last few lives and videos, man. It's like it's Teryl Austin has been using the Matt Canada shield again. Because not only was Matt Canada bad last week, and we're moving on to the game tomorrow, but today, Teryl Austin wasn't just as good either. So as everyone's saying, fire Canada, there should be a lot of pressure on every single person, even Coach Tomlin. I'm not saying fire anyone just yet, but Teryl Austin always seems to sneak away with he's just in the background. Whereas
he got away with it last year, and I was the only one that was talking about it too. When back when with BTSC, Still Good Network, whatever they are now, I was the only one talking about the fact that everyone talks about Matt Canada, but the Steelers leak points they shouldn't leak. And we saw it with the 188 yards in the run game, from last week.
Real bad.
Can't afford it today. But let's talk about it in context of all the things. So we're recording this almost a day before you're going to get it, about 20 hours before you're going to get it live right now as you're watching it. So some of these injuries might have changed, but as of now, as of the latest injury report going into 24 hours before the game, Dionte Johnson obviously out with the hamstring injury. McFarland out as well with the knee injury. I don't know if I haven't read whether that's the same knee as the one that he had problems with 2 years ago. If it is, that's really not good. Chooks was full practice from the concussion. Whether he plays or not is yet to be determined. James Daniels had the ankle game status. It's just got a blank there. Pat Freeman is blank, but he had a chest issue. I'm sure he'll play. Ogunjobi was full practice Saturday after not practicing Friday, being limited on Thursday. They're clearly managing him with Cam Hayward out. Isaac Siamalu, he didn't practice Friday, did have a full practice Saturday. I reckon he'll be good to go. George Pickens, limited practice on Saturday. He's not listed on Thursday or Friday, also with a hamstring injury. So is there something going on here in terms of how the Steelers are working out? I don't know. But anyway, right now it's got him as not listed, so he should play. After going through last year's injury report where they don't list anything and then they play, that's what we're going to go with. On the Browns side, you've got Joel Bitonio. He was full practice Friday, Saturday after not practicing on Thursday. They have put a status for him up yet. Amari Cooper is questionable. I heard that he wasn't going to play over our weekend in Australia. He was limited on Saturday after full practice Friday. He'll play if he can. They do need him on offense. Myles Garrett was full practice Friday and Saturday after not practicing Thursday. He'll probably play. Shelby Harris, their defensive end, didn't practice Thursday, limited Friday, full practice Saturday. He should play. Maurice Hurst, their defensive tackle, didn't practice Thursday, limited Friday, full practice Saturday, again, should play. Siaki Ika did not practice Thursday, did not practice Friday, did not practice Saturday, and is questionable. I don't think he plays. He didn't play any snaps last week, so I don't think you'll see him this week. Juwan Thornhill, the DB, good DB there. He's got a calf issue. He was limited Friday, Saturday. He's questionable. I actually reckon he won't play. Anthony Walker, their middle linebacker, who's quite a good middle linebacker. He was full practice Friday, Saturday. He's just got a dash next to his name. You'd assume he plays. And Jedrick Wills, their Pro Bowl level offensive tackle, limited Thursday, Friday, full practice Saturday, dash for his game status, should play. So there are a couple of key guys more for the Steelers, mainly Dionte Johnson and Cam Hayward, who we know. But I think from the Browns side of things, man, if Amari Cooper doesn't play, that would definitely help a Steelers defense that, as we've said, had major problems last week.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard Cooper might be out, and a lot of our secondary just didn't look. The whole game was pretty poor, but the secondary didn't. We've been doing a lot of talk. I've been doing a lot of talk about Peterson and the guys coming in, and I thought Levi Wallace was going to look all right, and they just got absolutely torn apart. So. And I don't know if Watson's the same guy that he can go out there and tear us apart, but
yeah, we got run plays last week.
Yeah, we got to stop at least one phase of the game, and I would hope they try and stop the run and then force him to pass and get interceptions and stuff like that.
I don't know though. I want to pick that apart. a little bit in terms of like feed off that, not pick what you've said apart, because I agree with you. I mean, I was getting married last week, so I didn't get to do my takeaway show that I wanted to get out there after the game. But like, I thought Kazi and Peterson looked atrocious out there. Like they just seemed to be half a second
very
at
lost.
minimum late, to 2 seconds late to every single play. And that kind of really disappointed me. Particularly because, and you said to me off air about Levi Wallace being poor. That's not the role that those guys are playing, is not something that JPJ can just stick in there and play. So for me, it's actually a massive concern, big time. If you're not going to stop the run, then, and you're going to leak yards in the passing game in the middle and inside, you don't have a hope in winning. Like, and it just puts the pressure on the offense. It's just going to get worse.
Well, that's what we saw with the score too. It was like, okay, the offense wasn't helping as well, but at the same time, the defense wasn't doing their job, and the next minute we're down by 20 points. And when we thought,
and it's also interesting because it's like some of the defense are doing their job. You can't ask more from TJ, right? You can't ask.
TJ played a good game. He did. And then Cameron Hayward went out, and we saw some good plays from Benton and stuff like that. But overall, as a unit, they're just not. You can see they look lost out there. They weren't communicating, and Peterson also called out Purdy and said, "I'm going to get an interception." And he got picked on twice for an easy TD for the first one, and then a back shoulder pass where Peterson was a step away from making the play, but he didn't make it. And next minute he got burnt. He was burnt toast. So yeah, I hope we see some better just physicality or just something from the defense, or at least the secondary.
Yeah, in terms of the Browns, like we talk about their run game, we talked about Cooper, we just talked about Watson. They've got tight ends like Njoku, and I think Hooper's still with them. And then they've got like the fullback. They try and work him in a little bit as well, occasionally. You've also got, I think it's Elijah. I always get confused between Elijah Mitchell and Elijah Moore. I think it's Elijah Moore there as well. Like, if there's one matchup, Steelers defense to Browns offense, who is it, and why is that like fundamental to the Steelers winning the game?
I reckon you're going to take away. There's one. You want one?
Yeah, I want one.
Can I give you two?
You can give me two. You can give me two.
Then Njoku, I think, is one of them. I think you got to take care of him because that we've been talking about the middle of the field and middle linebackers and the safety, and we all talk about this 3 safety set. Haven't seen it, right? Take away that, because if he gets a football, we're in big trouble. And also the run game, if we aren't slowing down, you can't take over Nick Chubb and force a lot of bad plays. But if they're not shaping up and having any push on the offensive line and they're winning those battles, it's in the Browns' favor all day. Nick Chubb will just run over us, and then Watson will get comfortable, and the next minute they're winning this game, 30 points to, if we can even score points, 17. So I'd say middle of the field with taking, just getting in their face, bro. I just want to see something happen like that.
Yeah, I want to see Holcomb. I'm beating off what you said. Holcomb has to have an all-pro game. Yeah. Holcomb has to be like Luke Kuechly level, like just
he didn't sit over the middle,
like just shut down everything. Like Landon Roberts did well I thought he actually played pretty good last week. But Holcomb's just he's got to take the game. If Holcomb plays badly, they're no chance.
Yeah,
straight out.
I was watching the game when I was doing live at 3 a.m. and I was like, I remember Steeler Girl 808. I said to everyone, everything has gone their way, like in terms of everything's working for the 49ers and everything was going wrong for us. I was like, damn, like it was bad. But in this game, if the Browns can run the football and their O-line is going to punish our D-line, and next minute we have like a lot of holes, and they gave up 150 yards to McCaffrey and over 180 in total. And we talk about Matt Canada's offense being stale and whatever. Well, the defense didn't help out either. So both sides are pretty bad. And yes, it comes down to the coaching of players and all that. It comes down to everybody. You can't just say, fire this guy, fire that guy. It's pretty much everyone besides TJ had a good game. You know what I mean? He's trying his hardest. And TJ's role.
People will hate me for this. I don't think Kenny had as bad a game as what people have made out.
Yeah. It wasn't the best.
The reason I say that is like, I know he only got like just 2/3 of his throws, like 31 out of 46 for like, what was it, 220 yards. But like,
a lot of garbage
he
time.
was constantly playing on the back foot. There was no run game. I thought the blocking was poor. Mason Cole and James Daniels looked atrocious for me. I don't know. Maybe I was watching a different game to other people. I don't know. But like, I was shocked at how on the back foot those two were compared to what they should have been. And I think I know Kenny missed some throws he should have made. I know some of the timing was off, but Kenny is not the reason they lost that game by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they got bullied though. On like, and we talk about the trenches, and it's like D line versus our O line. Our O line got bullied for sure. They just weren't ready, right? And the D line as well with Nick Bosa and Armstead and Javon Hargrave. He got a sack. Like everyone took over on that. Next minute, we had to force. We gave them the run too far, but you're right. They had to go into the pass because they couldn't do the run because is it Fred Warner, the middle linebacker?
Yeah,
he is coming down. He nailed Najee, sent a message. So what could you do? You couldn't run the ball because it was a really great defense.
And if I'm Najee, I know Fred Warner's quick as, but Fred Warner is like 6'1", not even, and 228 pounds. And you're Najee and you're like 6'2" and a bit and 242 pounds and almost just as quick. Like Najee should be. If I were Najee, I'd be searching the depths of my character a little bit on that one because
he read the whole quite well. I saw a comment on Facebook.
He did, and they didn't. Their offensive line didn't create the holes that I think most people thought they should have created. But I just think Najee's got to play better than that. He's got to play a lot better.
But it's also felt like I looked into one of the comments here. Alex said to me, "Go and look up the other bloke, Alex Cazores, who looked over the Matt Canada offense, and he made a lot of sense. He called the Matt Canada offense boring. Right? I'm not saying fire the guy, but it was pretty boring. Like there were times where they went to the end zone, 4 verts, and they had to wait for someone to get open. There's no creativity around that, and it did feel like last year. It really did. It felt. I
don't know where Calvin Austin sweeps. Like when I went to do the rookie report that came out yesterday, so if anyone missed that, it's a quick 12-minute show. Check that out after this. And I also previewed the Cleveland Browns rookies who you might not know about. Like Calvin Austin had 6 receptions or 6 targets and had nothing in the run game. Like that doesn't make like when the run game's not working, that doesn't make sense to me. Even if they're fake, sweeps and it's just all about the pre-snap motion. Like, how do you not involve him? I get it.
Yeah, but nothing. I think with this Canada offense, I think it's something we feared that was going to happen because the preseason look really good, and next minute it's like the same thing. The runs. I don't know the technical term for the runs, but they look like a halfback dive. That's all they are. The halfback dive, handoff, and they run into a brick wall. They can't go anywhere. There's zero creativity of moving anyone. I just don't. And then we know they're going to run Najee, and even the first few drive, they do a jet sweep, which didn't work. Then they're forced to throw the football down the field. Kenny Pickett's throwing. He's rushed. He's throwing. He didn't play very well, but he's throwing interceptions. Everything broke down and went the wrong way. So all I can hope is that the Steelers and the offense in total can just get some cohesion from last year
and rhythm.
Yeah.
And you know what I hate? It was either this show last week that we did, or a little bit before, where we talked about a concern for the game. And my concern was that what we'd seen in preseason was so vanilla. And we hadn't necessarily, if you weren't at training camp, you didn't see anything sexier than what you saw in the preseason. And then they came out and they played worse than what they did in the preseason. And it was, as you say, stale, boring, non-creative, had no rhythm, had no cohesion, whatever assessment we want to make of it. And I know we hit a preview ahead of the Browns, but like the Browns are going to force you to do things with the way that they play, even when they're bad. They're going to force you to do the basics right. And this team didn't do the basics right. And they didn't do the basics right against the best NFC team. The Browns, I feel like, handed it like a serve of like humble pie to Cincinnati in week 1.
Held it 90 yards for that game. They played good. They played good football.
Right. So I just sit there and I'm like, if you do it this week, you're going to lose at home to the Browns. And what's that, Mark? When you say to me, Mark, 20 years before we got on air? Like
there hasn't been 20 years since they've lost a regular. So they've won a regular season game. Of course, they won the post game. But since 2003, October 5 was the last time the Browns won in a regular season.
And
are you there? It cut out.
I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I'm back. But no, I was just saying before, like the internet stalled there. Like I it's been that 20 years, and honestly, I'm not going to sit here and lie to our fans. I'm not confident. I'm not confident that that's going to be 21 years. I'm sorry.
This to me, I think was why I made it as the odd week. It feels very odd because I think if the Steelers win, we still want to see something to grow, like to see some progression in the offense, right? We don't want to see a bad game and they win. Of course, it's going to be okay, but what they need to, all the teams around the league, they're getting better each week. The Eagles are, the 49ers are, they're getting better each week, right? If they play the exact same way as last week, it's going to be very tough. I'll tell you that. Like they have to have some identity. You can't run the rock 9 times. You can't force Kenny Pickett to throw 46 times. The Browns will play better football than us if we do that. If we play into that role, they will.
Yeah, 100%. And even the Giants, right? They came back and won their game today before we go for this, right? I mean, it came out of nowhere. In our fantasy league, right? Like I had 20 points, and because I have Waller, Saquon Barkley, and Daniel Jones, and I came back and basically between them and Brian Robinson of Washington, I basically scored 100 points and won, and I'm going to win. Like,
oh, really? You're back now? Oh, wow!
I'm back, man. You should see it. I got from 20 points to 125, and I got Chris Olave tomorrow against whoever I'm playing in our league. And like I'm coming, like I came right back. But I talk about that from the concept of the Giants got it right after getting their asses handed to them. The Steelers have got to get it right after getting their asses handed.
This is the thing that I am hopeful and I want to see my team win because mathematically we're not done, right? But I do see the other side of like
week 1.
I know it is week 1, but then when Matt Canada, there's a difference when I say it's week 1, it's game 1. It's a difference to him saying it's game 1 because he says it's game 1, but it feels the exact same. And if it feels the exact same, we're going to be in a lot of trouble because they have not scored any more points. They scored average 18 last year and already we're on 7 per game. But let's see. I want to be proved wrong.
If they play bad in this and lose, beat Houston, lose to the Ravens, I can't imagine Matt Canada's here after the bye. Not when you've got Glenn.
You think that they make a non-Steeler move and get rid of him?
They have to. They're in it to win it. The moves they made, that they have to. Unless the offense is humming and it is Teryl Austin and the defense, who I think has been a problem for the last 2 years, like a big problem. Unless it's because the defense is costing them games, I can't imagine Matt Canada's here after.
You can't it's crazy, isn't it? They don't normally make those moves, but would that change anything? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But to me, it is very frustrating because you did make all the moves, we're all the hype, but then the offense is playing the exact same way. And now we don't have Dionte, or do we have Cameron Hayward too? So it's going to be even tougher. Something tells me we can bounce back and everything be fine. But then the other side says, oh my goodness, if we have to watch this, and I'm just saying the offense, not just Matt Canada, but the overall offense, the way it's playing and how the guys executing the plays too. If we have to see that and we're scoring 10 points a game, we can't get rhythm or we can't go down the field and try and go into at least maybe a shootout or something. Because when's the last time we scored 30 points? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Something like that.
Well, not in preseason. When you're comparing preseason to season. Yeah, it'd be 2.5. It'd be 2.5, I think.
We didn't score 30 points at all last year, right?
No, and then I think it was the back end of the previous season in the Browns. Isn't the Browns game?
They're 28-14, which was a good game we got. But and that was when they were running the football. They were using Najee. They were getting amongst like things were working in our favor. And it's like they just abandoned that idea and went to the passing game. And the passing game didn't work. And the next minute it was three and outs all over. And there was just a solid round of boos for Matt Canada.
But we don't have the offensive line right now. As good as we thought they were, we don't have the offensive line right now to have a shootout with the Browns. Not with Myles Garrett, not with, I call him Double O. I can't pronounce his first and last name, but he had a sack last week. They've got a pass rusher. It's like, I'm going to butcher the name.
I know the dude.
Yeah, I just call him Double O. It's just easy to do it, right?
I don't know his name, but I know the dude. Hang on.
Yeah. They've got, and then they've got a couple of other guys as well. Like you.
JOK.
Pardon?
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
No, that's JOK. No, there's another guy, the defensive end. I'm gonna stuff it up. I'd rather just score.
Double O. Yeah, I cannot pronounce that name. Oko Roko. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry.
That's why. Like, I'm usually up for giving the name
Double O is way better,
but
dude.
I'm not gonna do that.
That's heaps better. Yeah.
Yeah, double O.
Yep, cool. Okay.
They had Larry O. We took Larry O. Now they can have double O, right? Anyway,
I wonder if they call him double O. I like that.
I don't know. I just came up with it because I couldn't pronounce it.
Pronounce his name.
So yeah, I mean, when you got double O there as well, like they can't afford to rely on the pass game. That the run game has to work. This team is built on the run game working. It's built on the other thing too is can we work Darnell Washington in? Like I did the rookie review.
Yes.
Like, where's the target to Darnell?
None. Was it none? None at all. Nah, I don't think.
Like Fred Warner is like, small compared to.
This is the problem I think with the offense is nothing.
Like, how do you have a weapon like as you're about to say with Calvin Austin, twitchy, fast, 5'7", 4.2 speed. Really, if you actually look at what his 40-yard is, and then you've got 6'8", 290-pound Darnell Washington, and you don't use either of them.
Yeah, it's almost like Canada's offense is just okay. Here's my offense. It's like he doesn't even see the other side of the field. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't like scheme and say, well, this guy's
blank. It's blank.
It's like, because I did see a lot of route concepts and I'm like, man, it looked pretty bad. There was nothing open. He never schemes the receivers open. Like it just never happens. He's just waiting for one-on-one matchups for them to win the one-on-one matchup. You never see like Robinson or CA3 like, open. Dionte, you did. And then he also he does the plays where he cuts off half the field. Did you see the interception where he cut off half the field?
This is the best he can do.
Oh, I can't see that very well, but what is it?
Just 4 lines going straight.
Hey man, I hope we win tomorrow. I hope we see something better. It's not even a win. I just want to see them play better. Just something. Because maybe you're right. Maybe if we go 1-3 before the bye, 1-4. They go and cut him
because there's still time. There's still time, but also why can't we just come out week 1 or week 2 and look good and have 10 to 12 wins and look good doing it? Like even the 11-0 felt like what the hell? Why can't we just play really well?
Yeah. And look, I know some people will come back to Tomlin and this stuff, that kind of stuff, right?
It's not on Tomlin. Like what's on Tomlin is that the coordinators get away with it. Teryl Austin got away with it last year. I said it in the first 30 seconds. So if you saw it from the first 30 seconds, thank you for staying tuned in, right? And I'm going to harp on about this until the defense plays better. This should be a top 5 defense. Cam Hayward injury, no Cam Hayward injury. At least a top 10 defense. They played horrific. 186 yards. It's embarrassing.
On the ground, yeah. And also, like TJ,
you're never going to win the game against a good team like the 49ers when you concede 200 on the ground. And there were plays. There was a 3rd and like 12 or 14, and McCaffrey got to the 4th and 1. Like, and of course they're going to convert that. And I just sat there. I'm like, it's 3rd quarter. You're chasing the lead, and you let that happen. Like you could have at least held them to a field goal. It was like the 2nd or 3rd drive from San Francisco in the second half. Like Steelers had obviously scored to go into halftime, come back, done nothing for 2 drives, and they let that happen. And I'm like, you don't want to win this game. You're not playing like you want to win this game. And if they do that against the Browns, AFC North football, they're going to get their ass handed to them on a platter because the Browns have a better run game than what the 49ers do.
Browns have a pretty good team overall in defense.
Yeah, their cornerbacks are good. Their linebackers are fast.
Yeah, they're physical. Like you said, DE guys, Myles Garrett, don't like him, but he's a good player. If we don't play our side of AFC North football, and you go through you do all the let's rides, all the pump up stuff, and nothing comes out of it, they will be down 10-0 leading into 13-0 unless Watson makes mistakes. They will absolutely carve us up. There's a certain point where you wake up and it's like, okay, now you just got to play. And the Steelers, that's why I feel a bit uneasy about this game. I'm keen. But
remember at the start of the season, I had this as a loss. Like, remember not the last preview we did, but the preview before that, I had this as a loss. I didn't like it. And I really don't like it after what I saw against from the 49ers. So
What you go?
I was gonna say, like, we've got 5 minutes left in the show. I want to keep it half an hour for everyone because we know you want to watch all your other previews before the game. We made some what seemed like outlandish predictions last time around. All I'm going to say is like Minka and Holcomb have to have massive games, like huge games. Peterson's got to play like I've heard a lot. This is going to sound a call out. I know he's a veteran. I know he's going to make the Hall of Fame. I know he's a great player. But Patrick Peterson's talked a freaking massive game on all things covered this offseason.
He does.
And he's played like James Pierre week 1.
Oh, not James Pierre.
So I don't know. Prediction-wise, I don't even know if I have any hope in hell of predicting a score. But like,
you haven't got a score?
I don't know. I'm gonna have a go, but my point is, how do you think this is gonna go, or like who's gonna have a big game, regardless of whether we win or lose?
You know what they just need someone besides TJ to have a game. I'm talking like
yes, I love that take.
It's like you got to have the O line has to do something and go back to the bully ball last year. Is it Warren steps up? Is it getting the ball? They didn't even get the ball to Connor Hayward. Connor Hayward made 2 catches last week, I think, and he was playing good football. And they went away from that. They didn't go to Washington. They didn't do anything.
That was pass interference too. That ball to him on the end zone. Like I don't know how they didn't call that.
But they just got to get the guys who want to play, like the Warren, the Haywoods, those dudes who want to move forward, the ball. Get them the ball, set the tone, and you should be sweet. But they don't do that. So you got to, and also like Holcomb and Alexander, whoever's middle linebackers, whoever's the defensive end, someone make a play and beat them the one-on-one matchup. If it's DE versus tackle, beat the matchup, force them to make mistakes, and then rally, right? And then get hyped up. TJ Watt is like our biggest chance to win this game. And that's and even Highsmith was very quiet last week.
I'll give you 3 on offense, 3 on defense. 3 on defense, a Holcomb, Minka, and Benton. Benton needs to just come out there and blitz the game. Like it's bye-bye offensive line. Like bye-bye Pocic. He's not that good a center for Cleveland. Offensive side, Mason Cole, Allen Robinson, and like Najee. Like that, if those guys don't play well, this isn't gonna. You can't just rely on Pickens this game. You can't rely on Calvin Austin. You've got to. James Daniels has got to block someone and shore up that side of the field. Najee's got to hit a hole and actually play well. And quite honestly, like I do really think that Allen Robinson is the key to this one. Allen Robinson he's the path to victory for this team on offense.
Yeah, it's almost like the talk is over now too. We've assembled the crew. This is probably the 98% of the crew will be here until the end, right? And I am hopeful that this team wins, and I'm not a hater or anything like that. And if we do lose, the season's not over. But there's something very odd about this game because we didn't see any promise or any signs of life in last week's game.
No, and if they'd lost 30-24, even 21, I'd be like, okay. But I'd be like, yeah, you know what? They got beat by a better team. That's such is life. They can grow and become a better team.
But nothing worked.
But
yeah. It's I don't know.
And you know what else is frustrating? It's there. If they were really god awful terrible, they wouldn't have scored the touchdown the way they did at the end of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's there. It's just like, how do you bring that out consistently, and how do you build on that?
Held them at 10 points too in the second half, so they were 20-7, and they got 10 points second half. They could have came back and had a chance to, but they just made errors.
That's the thing. They didn't even win the second. I mean, I hate that analogy where you win the second half, but like they didn't even win the second half.
You know what though? I think it'd be if the Steelers win this game, I kind of want to see them to win it and play good football. I'm talking like 100 yards to Najee, 50 to, you know what I mean? Like we want to see a good game, not like
statement game. This has got to be a statement.
Yes.
And you know what this has got to be? You talked about the 20 years. It's 2023. It's 20 plus years since Renegade in the playoffs. This has got to be like, you got to come out there. Like, I don't want to hear, obviously if I was in the stadium, of course I want to hear Renegade. They need to run out to freaking Renegade. Like in the dressing rooms, it needs to be Renegade moment 1 to moment end. That's what it's got to freaking be.
Right. Yeah. I think we're talented and we can win this game. It's just like, who's going to show up? The Steelers that normally show up, and we hope they do, that a good team and want to fight to win, or do we get the team that shows up that is like last week, like the 49ers are not prepared. That's a big difference. So, I don't know, man. I'm keen. I think we can win. I've got 24-23. They miss the Browns. I go down for a field goal, 40 yards out, and then they miss. I got last-minute field goal. They go for it, and they miss. And we win 24-23, and we still feel uneasy. You know what I mean? Because we win, but we feel like, oh.
I like that. I like that one. I could see it in the reverse. I'm going to say the defense turns it on, and we win 23-21.
Last-minute field goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because they miss. They're going to have the ball at the end of the game, the position to win it.
It's got to be close, man, because these teams play close anyway, and we don't know who we are yet. We are who they thought they were. We don't know who we are. The Steelers don't have no idea who they are.
The only thing that will change this game is if I've been incredibly harsh on Teryl Austin and they come out and get like loads of defensive turnovers and a defensive touchdown like Minka did a few years back. Like that could change the game. But Deshaun Watson doesn't make the mistakes that Baker Mayfield made on the field. Off the field, good luck. But on the field, he doesn't make the same mistakes. So it'll be interesting. But let us know in the live chat your comments on like score, who are the game changers, all those good things. And before we close it out, anything got left, Marky D?
I just want to say, like, I'm confident, I'm hyped up as always, but at the same time, I just feel a bit odd about everything, and I think we may lose. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I legit don't know because just the way how we played and prepared was different to the preseason. All the offseason talk, the new players came in, and it looked exactly the same. We talked about that, right? It looked exactly the same. So new players, same coaching identity, same all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, if they come out and run 100 yards, Pickett goes off crazy, and we're like, whoa, dude. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, like, I'm driving the train. You and I are driving the train with a hype train, right? But some people have already given up. Don't give up yet.
I'm driving the hype train, but I'm a bit worried about the stocks of coal, like, you know, they're going into the engine. I'm like, we need to stop somewhere and we need to get some coal. Like, we need to load some more coal in.
Maybe Matt Canada's driving the train. No, but like, I don't know, dude.
Mate, if Matt Canada was driving the train, we wouldn't even leave the station.
Yeah, it just feels. I'm excited, but I don't know. I'm excited. I'm keen. I just don't. Still a nation. If we lose tomorrow, the world's going to explode. Like the Pittsburgh will go nuts. Like the lockdown the city will go into Armageddon mode. The Yinzers are going to go crazy. They will. That's all I got. They're going to go crazy.
That's it. All right, mate. Well, as always,
go Steelers. Here we go.